sang this song to me. There was a message in its melody, sweetest lyric I ever heard. There's a message in the songs of birds. Tomorrow is another day. Living is the only way. Tomorrow's gonna ever come. Listen to the words of the song. Everything gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be.
I recently learned a technique to reset the subconscious. So we're going to do that today. I've been practicing it in Mastermind. My Mastermind partners haven't told me if it worked yet, but I think it worked. So they are non-committal. How about that? So I want everybody to take a deep breath. When you take this breath, I want you to inhale, allowing your abdomen to expand, and imagine that the breath of life is coming in from the top of your head, and then circling and massaging your body and going through and exiting through your feet. And when you exhale, I want you to allow your abdomen to relax and contract. So take a deep breath, allowing the breath of life to enter from the crown of your head and circling your body, massaging all of your organs. And just before you need to take the breath, I want you to listen to: the Father and I are one. There is no spot where God is not. Every single thing I touch is a success. All the answers I need come with ease, speed, and wisdom. All of my needs are met. I am powerful and creative, and I can handle it. I am health, wealth, joy, and harmony. And all of my relationships are filled with joy. Now, as you exhale this last breath, I want you to open your eyes and get for our next session of the power of thought. Now, for those of you who have been following this empowerment series, we've done 3 topics. This is our 3rd topic, as a matter of fact. The first topic dealt with all of the things that you needed to do to improve your life right then. The second topic was how to deal with anger, in which we reframed anger. We found out what we were actually attaching ourselves to still and dragging along in this experience so that we could forgive it and then we could release it. And I also hoped that you learned during that time that every single thing is a relationship, and that generally the things that we are upset about or angry about are not the things that we think we're upset and angry about. So once you can uncover that, then you realize that the things that have been pushing your buttons are the same things that have been pushing your buttons for years. So that should allow you to disengage from that so you can move on to new experiences. Now we're going to talk about the power of thought. You all have all seen The Secret, right? Yeah. Okay. Have you seen What the Bleep Do We Know and How Far Down the Rabbit Hole? All right. And they talk about what? Thought. That's all they talk about, right? It's thought. So what were some of your questions or reactions when you first saw that? Come on, try to be quick.
Mine was that everything that I really felt, it made me feel sad at first because everything that the Secret had expressed, I knew those things. I already knew it, but I didn't know how to use or express it in my own life.
Okay. So after watching those, do you know any more about how to use them in your own life?
I think so.
Okay. We're going to explore it a little bit more. The wonderful thing about being here in like 2009 is that we do have the benefit of science, and we have the benefit of the internet and information. So we know more about how things work. So everyone should know that every single moment you are creating the life that you live right now. And if you're not happy with this life that you're living right now, what you should ask is, what am I thinking that keeps me producing and creating the same existence. Now, thoughts are things, and as it said, that makes you the thinker who thinks the thoughts that makes the things, okay? So thoughts are things. Now, thoughts actually work in several categories, and if you go back to the revealing word that was done by Charles Fillmore, you'll find that thoughts are actually where everything starts. And words are the manifestation of thoughts. See, thoughts are just seeking to be expressed. And the first place you express them is through your words. So when you speak, you are actually trying to say exactly what you're thinking. Then all these thoughts sort of collect and they make thought centers, and like thoughts they get together and they gather up together, and then after they get these centers, then they make like little colonies, and they attach themselves to your cells, and they attach themselves to your organs, and they're running around in your bloodstream, and there's a whole bunch of them because like thoughts will kind of bunch together, kind of like your friends. All of your friends, you have something in common with like all your friends, right? There's no one in your friend group that's totally different than you, right? So thoughts do the same thing, so they sort of bunch together. And then what begins to happen is your life becomes what's called a thought atmosphere. Your life is the atmosphere that you have created by all of the thoughts that you think. So, if your atmosphere of your life is peaceful and joyful and harmonious, that means you have been successful in thinking peaceful, joyful, and harmonious thoughts. However, if your atmosphere is always one in turmoil or chaos, and I do know how to say turmoil, I just didn't say it then your thoughts are chaotic, full of turmoil, and sort of kind of disjointed. If you want to know what you think, look at your life in all of its aspects right now. You don't have to have a long prayer. You don't have to beseech God, okay? Because God is telling you all the time. Just get up in the mirror and look at your life. Look at your health. Look at your finances. Look at your job satisfaction. Look at your friends. Look at the relationships you have with your children. And that will tell you absolutely everything that you think. Now, the one thing about thoughts is they will create a belief. And all a belief is a thought that you have over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's all a belief is. Like, we believe that black is a good color to wear if you want to look thin, okay? And we believe that because somebody told us that, and we just kept thinking it and 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 thinking it. And now you just do it automatically. So if you want to look thin, that's what everybody says about black, okay? The same thing has been done to African Americans even in history. If you notice that the use of the term black is always associated with something negative. So when you think about black, the good cowboy wears a white hat and the bad cowboy wears a black hat. And it's the same thing. And they've developed beliefs because we think this over and over and over and over and over again. So I was asked earlier to deal with a question that says, how does my thoughts affect my ability to manifest the things that I want to? There is a saying that says, if you think you can do it, you can. And if you think you cannot do it, you cannot do it. Because you decide what your thoughts are. Now I want you to begin to think about thoughts as a part of your I am power, and that your life and what's going on in your life is a part of God's power. But see, God is never not present. God is only able to be present in your life to the extent that you allow it to be. So you're either expressing a whole lot of God or you're expressing a little bit of God. And if life isn't going the way you want it to go, it is because you have become so attached to a thought that it is time for you to release now, or because you're just not following what Spirit tells you to do. And it's really that simple. Now, the problem we have with thoughts, though, is you have about 50,000 thoughts a day. And it is absolutely impossible to follow every thought you have. So give that one up. The other thing is you've heard a lot about the law of attraction or the law of cause and effect. And we're always taught to learn how to work the law of attraction and to work the law of cause and effect. Newsflash, you don't work the law of cause and effect or the law of attraction. The law of attraction is working anyway. Has always been working, will always be working. Whether you know it or not, it works. So you don't have to do anything to the law of attraction to get it to work for you. What you do have to do is you have to make certain that what you're giving the law of attraction to work with is what you want to manifest in your life. It's like if you had a plant and somebody gave you this wonderful plant and you never watered it, what would happen to the plant? Okay, so the conditions in the environment aren't what they need to be, so it can't thrive, right? And it wasn't a good plant or a bad plant, was it? It was just a plant, right? And you don't give it good water or bad water, right? You just give it water. And then it just knows to do whatever it's going to do. Well, your lives are the same way. So if there's something that you would like to manifest, you have got to give it the right nutrients. You've got to feed it the right stuff. It's your plant. And if you don't, it will wither and die. So there's an example that I like to use. I love the whole metaphor of crossing bridges, right? So you have a life where you are now. That's one condition. What's going on right now. And then over here, we think is way over here, there is the life that you want to have. And everybody sort of believes, like the children of Israel, that you can't have it here, that you got to leave and go somewhere else because you can't have it. You couldn't possibly have a good life in Chicago. You might need to live in California and Atlanta, right? Like there's more good in California and Atlanta, like there's more God in California and Atlanta, but it's not. Because the one problem you have is you take you wherever you go, which means you take your beliefs, you take your thoughts, you take your actions everywhere you go. And if you are not careful, you will simply recreate everything that you have right here. You'll just do it in a better neighborhood, okay? So I always say, let's fix those problems now and don't take them to a better neighborhood. So the thing that you have to begin to do first is identify where you are right now. What is it that you like about what's going on now, and what is it you don't like about what's going on? And then there's one thing you can always do, and they talk about this in all of the Esther Hicks series, is that you can reach for a better feeling. You can get a better thought. The problem I think we make is we want to jump the tall building of how we feel right now to how we're going to feel when we have $2 million. And that's just an example. Everybody have their goals in mind. So we're trying to reach for that better feeling when that is really virtually impossible because you don't even know what it feels like yet to be debt free. Not alone to be debt free and $2 million. So you can reach better thought. So what I ask you to do first is think about what is good in the situation that you're in now. And that's where you are to keep your thoughts. Keep your thoughts where there's a presence of God, as I've said before, as opposed to the absence of God. Because we tend to live our lives in the absence of God. We want to live our lives in the fact that we have a terrible boss. Not the fact that we're actually being paid good money to do what we love to do, and that we're given a chance to do it. We want to think about, oh, we got a terrible boss. Well, we created the terrible boss, so we need to think about the things that we have to learn from that situation. Sometimes learning what you don't want is a good thing, because if you didn't have the experience, how would you know you wanted it, right? Has anybody in here ever eaten eggplant? Okay, okay. So those of you who've never eaten eggplant, you have no idea what it's like, right? So if I bought you a whole bunch of eggplant, you wouldn't know to be happy about that, right? And if you ate it and didn't like it, then what happened if you went around saying, my God, this is a beautiful vegetable, I want more of it? Then you get more, then you finally ate it, and then you hated it, right? So you need to know what it is you don't like about this. Because not liking something and liking something are actually the same thing. You have two powers. You have a yes power and you have a no power. So I want you to say no to the things you don't want, just say yes to the things that you do want. But in exercising that no power, you have to do it quickly. Because the universe likes to see if you have a sense of humor. So just when you've decided you're not going to do something anymore, guess what comes along? Something like that And then you have to look it in the face, and then you have to really say, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore, right? You know, I'm not going to buy that dress because I said I was going to save money, so the answer is no. Or, you know what, that kind of man coming, that one's not good for me. I have to remember I'm allergic to that kind of relationship, so I'm going to say no to that relationship. Just like you have to be willing to say yes, too. And when you need to say yes, a lot of times the key to the fact that you need to say yes is that you're a little nervous because you're thinking that maybe you can't do it. Just maybe you can't. But if you can't do it, who can? And if you think about all of the leaders in the Bible, God never called anybody perfect. And my favorite thing is if he could David, honey, he can call me, okay? And not only Jacob, okay? Jacob stole stuff from his father, had to change his name and move on. If he could call those kind of people, he can call me, okay? The next thing is, once you've identified what's right now, and then what you would like to change, then you need to decide where it is you want to go and describe it. Get intimate with it. Everything that you want, taste, a feel, and a texture. And the example I used earlier today is, if someone blindfolded you and took you to your house, would you know you were at your house? It's a certain feel, right? It got a certain energy about it, certain feel, certain noises. You know what that feels like, right? So you need to think about where it is you want to go in those terms and describe it to yourself. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? If it were food, what would it taste like? Because everyone has a home that has some kind of scent or smell. So that's what you need to decide. What does that place look like? What does that place feel like? And you need to have statements like this. You know what? It's really going to be very exciting when I get to go and test drive the Bugatti. I'm going to buy one, but I'm going to test drive it. And I already know how fun it is. I already know it's a real little car, so I imagine myself squeezing in the little car trying to find room for my hips, right? But it's a Bugatti, and I want to drive it. I already know what that feels like. Okay? I already know. So it is all about you changing your thoughts and changing your life and your beliefs to where you are actually vibrating at the same level as the thing you want. It has been proven that thoughts are energy. Energy vibrates. Every single thing, as we said before, is a bunch of neutrons and protons and all the atoms and stuff. They're just jumping around. They only stop because we look at them. Now, when we look at them, they're looking back at us because it's all energy. So you're going to vibrate to the same level as this thing. So you don't have to work the law of attraction. What you just have to do is know where you want to go, the feeling of where you want to be, and then all of a sudden, things will start to change. And you won't know where the change occurred. So you reach for a better feeling, and it doesn't have to be the ultimate feeling, just a better feeling of where you feel right now. Sometimes we've got to play some tricks on ourselves. In the first session, we did a brag sheet that said things that you could actually brag about. Keep that with you, because when you need a better thought, it's hard to find a better thought sometimes on your own when you want to put somebody out the window, okay? But if you got that little brag sheet, you can look at that and you can say, okay, this makes me feel good, and that's what you think about. And that will carry you through so that you are not making, as I call, deposits of more negative thoughts and more things that you don't want to happen into this bank of what I call substance to come forward. There was an example I used with a girlfriend of mine last night. We were talking about shoes. I love shoes. I think shoes are the answer to almost every problem one might have, okay? So shoes are just the answer, okay? I think there ought to be a law that you ought to be able to have, like, what, there are 365 days in the year. You need about 600, 700 pairs of shoes, because you ought to be able to have a different pair 2 times a day. I just think just the law, right? But I remember at the time when I was first buying shoes, I actually loved going into Baker's and 9 West. I just loved everybody about it. The store was cool, the people were nice, it was fun, it was moving. I just loved the store, loved the energy. So it wasn't long before I was in those stores buying shoes and buying, and people who know me know I probably buy 6 pairs of shoes a month. So I was buying shoes, just buying shoes. Income just followed me so that I could stay in this place that I felt good in and that I looked good in, okay? Then something strange happened. I noticed another shoe store. It was a higher-end shoe store. I didn't think I could possibly afford anything in there because all of a sudden I was looking out the $70, $120 range shoes up to the $250, $400 range shoes. And I just wasn't quite ready for that. But I went into the store, and guess what happened? I felt even better in that store than I did in the other stores. It was cool, the furniture was soft, the people were nice, and the little guy was just fantastic. I loved this sales rep to death. I just loved him to death. Guess what? It wasn't long before the income just raised to the point that I was in there buying 6, 7 pairs of shoes a month because the universe was keeping me in places where I felt good, in places that I enjoyed. I had fun. It was great. Okay? Then that guy left. So then now I'm looking, and then I stumbled up on an even more expensive shoe store. And then I thought, oh, no, we just better look at the catalog. Okay, don't even go in there, right? We can't do that. But I went in there, and by God, they served me champagne. They talked to me. They massage your foot before they put it in the shoe, and they massage your leg. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm home. This was like heaven. And it wasn't long before income just rose to the point that I was in there buying shoes. And it wasn't because I tried to buy shoes there. It was because I loved the way it made me feel. It felt good. It was fun. I was enjoying it. So that's the next thing that you have to do, is when you have thoughts that doesn't make you feel good, stop thinking that thought. Say no to that thought. See, your mind is a faculty or tool that was given to you to use, just like your eyes, your sense of smell, taste, and a lot of other senses we have yet to explore. And because your mind is a faculty for you to use it to where it makes you feel good and not to where it's going to destroy you. Now, as I've mentioned before, it's a joke I like to tell. If you're not careful with your mind will talk all by itself, okay? Your mind will keep up a conversation, thoughts will ease in your head, and then if you start paying attention to those thoughts, I remember thinking some stuff, and I said, why am I thinking about that? I'm getting all worked up over something I don't even care about. What is going on in the mind? Then you listen to what your heart says, because it talks too. Then I said, I had a problem. Houston, there's a problem. My mind is saying this stuff over here. My heart is saying, I love to do this. I want to do this. My mind is saying, oh, you can't do that. You don't have nothing to talk to them people about. You know you ain't got no heaven or hell and people don't want to hear you. That's what my mind is saying. My heart is saying, you know what, this would be really cool. You need to go do that. So I had to stop and listen to what was going on in my mind and say no and tell it to be quiet. And I have actually had times where I've said to my mind, these are the thoughts that you're going to think, and these are the thoughts that you're going to talk about. Anything else is not welcome for you, so you shut up. Because if you don't, by the end of the day, you have gotten yourself entangled in a web of negativity, and you have to remember what has your attention is packed with energy, and where you put energy will manifest in your life. All of a sudden, you're thinking about, I can't possibly do this. Why is so-and-so doing this? They better than me. I'm better than them. They shouldn't have been doing this before me. I don't understand. Before you know it, those scenarios will play out in your life, because along with that comes all this passion, all this attention that you're giving it to. So, and then you got to tell your mind to just be quiet. You elect the thoughts that you use. So you say yes to the thoughts you want, no to the thoughts you don't want. And it's as simple as, no, I'm not going to think about that thought because that makes me feel bad. Oh, I like that thought. That makes me feel good. And that's what you do. You keep pushing the ones that make you feel bad aside and electing the ones that make you feel good. Eventually, what will happen is that you're dealing with your dominant thoughts, your dominant thought patterns. Don't try to deal with 50,000 thoughts, because some thoughts go through so fast till you don't even know they were there. However, you'll have these dominant thoughts, these ones that keep coming up. Those are the ones that you can deal with, because those are the ones that you are conscious about. The other thing is, whatever you're thinking, watch how you feel about it. Because it is that passion that ignites that thought and sends it into this wonderful law of attraction. Because remember, the law of attraction just doesn't judge. It just says, they're thinking about this all the time and they're awful passionate about that. They must want that. They're spending an awful lot of time talking about that no-good boss, and they're really passionate about no good, lousy boss. Let's send them more no-good, lousy bosses. Right? Let's send them more. They want this. Because it doesn't decide if it's good or bad for you. It leaves that up to you. The other thing with a thought is a lot of times the thoughts that come into your mind are not your thoughts. There can be remnants of conversations you overheard, remnants of things that went on that you heard over the news, or things that you thought about in the paper, remnants of things that's happening that somebody else said to you, and you don't really even think that you're thinking that. But if you listen to what's going on in your head, then you will know exactly what thoughts those are. And then you can say, okay, thought, you know I don't believe that. That's so-and-so's thought. Get out of here. Go right on back over there. She likes that thought. That's hers. Passion, as I mentioned before, is the key. You have got to find whatever it is that fills you with passion. And passion doesn't always have to be that, oh my God, I gotta have this. Passion could be, oh wow, I really like that. That was pretty cool. Let's do that again. And if you're like me, there's a person inside of you that's jumping up and down, but you're sitting there with that really somber look like, this was wonderful, wonderful. But something inside of you is like jumping up and down. You've got to figure out what does that for you. And if you don't know, there's an old-fashioned questions you can ask. What would you do for free? What would you do if you were going to die in a year and you had to make money? What just makes you excited? What do you dream about? If you had all the money in the world, how would you spend it? Those kinds of things. You find what you're passionate about. And when you find what you're passionate about and you do more of that and less of the things that you're not passionate about, then you're also now taking those thoughts and placing the thoughts into the law of attraction that you want made manifest. And you're placing fewer thoughts of things that you don't want to happen. Because words are the manifestations of thoughts, you have got to watch what you say. So I always caution people to not be debt-free, because all the universe hears is debt. It doesn't understand the concept of free. So you will get more debt no matter how hard you try, no matter how many jobs you work. Something will happen that will keep giving you debt. You want to be financially independent. And when you think about being financially independent, just now you probably had a different idea or a different feeling. When I said debt-free, it's like, oh, you thought about your debt. You never got, your thinking never got to the free part. You thought about your debt. And you thought things like, okay, I got to do a better job budgeting. Oh, that doesn't sound like fun even on a good day. I got to pay so-and-so. I need to work this out. But when you say financially independent, all of a sudden the vision you had was that all of your debt was taken care of and that you were doing whatever it is you wanted to do. So you have to be certain that you're speaking in terms of positive words. So if you are ill, you are not sick. You are recovering. You are getting better. That is a better way to look at that. I am being healed. I am experiencing my healing now. That is a better way to frame that, so that the universe hears getting better, recovering, healing now, healed. That's what it hears. It doesn't hear I'm sick. And don't ever say you're broke, because you're not broke. You can say, that's not in my plans right now. That's just not in my plans right now. Period. Any other explanation you need to do happens between you and God. Them other folks don't need to know. Because if they're asking you for money, they need to learn how to change their thoughts too. So now that you got your words, your thoughts and your words, and we've talked about the passion, then you string those together. Because see, what you think and how you feel about what you think will manifest. And that's the simple equation. You cannot do it on thought alone. You have to actually have that feeling. You have to put something in action, though, because you can have all that stuff and sit in a rocking chair. It will not come to the rocking chair. You will not win the lottery sitting in the rocking chair if you didn't play the ticket. Nobody's out there going to bring you the winning ticket. Okay? If you're not in the mix, it just won't happen. So you've got to get into action. And you will get signs along the way. You'll get impressions of things that need to be done. Or you'll get the flat out information. Somebody will come up to you and say, oh, did you think about so-and-so? Did you know about so-and-so? That's the message. And those things you need to follow up on right away. Don't linger. The universe requires action. And it requires immediate action. And it requires the action it told you to do. So, if you pray for money to pay the rent or the mortgage, when you get the money to pay the mortgage, pay the mortgage. Don't pay the water bill. Pay the mortgage. Do what you said that you were going to do, because you must be in full integrity with the universe. You say it, and then that is what you must do. Now, the other thing that I like about thought is, just as you thought yourself into something you don't like, you can think yourself out of something you don't like. And it is that easy. Now, I often task people to figure out what their manifestation time is. Everyone has a manifestation time. You should know how long it takes you, the time you decide you want something to the time that thing actually manifests. You should know that time period. And you should know what works for you. The best way to know that is to keep a journal. You decide right now what it is you would like to do and have show up in your life. And then you take the necessary steps to do it. I like affirmations. My mind is so busy, I need to give it something to do so it can stay out of God's way. So affirmations are for me. They're not for God. God already got it, okay? God doesn't need to be reminded that we're not separated and that all my needs are met, okay? I need to be reminded. So those are the things that I do, and I have some of my favorite affirmations. What I did once before is I took my voice and recorded behind some music I liked my favorite affirmations. That were just some of the ones we did today and some few others. There were about 15 and looped it around for like 8 minutes. Listened to it and then as I went through the day, I would say affirmations throughout the day. And there were certain affirmations I must have worked 700, 800 times in the course of a day. And from that, it is amazing the things that begin to happen. And they're all nice and easy and subtle. They just sort of slide in. Things just sort of change. You may get a magazine article and it'll have some answer that you're looking for. You just flipping through the magazine article. Somebody might call you and say, you know, so-and-so's going to be here. You should go see them. And then you go see them, and then there the answer is. And you swear they were talking just to you. So did all the other people in the room. But you said it was talking just to you. So that's how that begins to happen. And then once that happens, when that thing manifests, you know how much time it takes for you to manifest something. It does not take years. It does not take all day. What takes years is you getting your thought pattern right. There is a song that I have an issue with, and that is, God is never late. He may not come when I want him, but he's always on time. This is the issue I have with that song. God comes as soon as you're willing for him to come. So it's not the problem that God missed the deadline. Not the problem. God came when you were ready for the healing, when you were ready for the answer, when you were ready to release whatever it was you were holding on to that blocked that energy and blocked that miracle. The minute you released it, you got the answer. So if anybody's late, it's us. Okay? If anybody's lingering, it's us. It is not God, because everything is possible in an instant. It just depends upon when you can get your thought life together in one accord with what you want to experience. Now, usually a question I get at that point is, well, how do I know when I'm on one accord with what I want to experience? It's real easy. Everything in your life starts to working. You'll get a life that sort of goes like this. But I've got to warn you about this easy life. We are having a human experience, and we do like a drama. So what begins to happen is we get bored with a life that works all the time. And then we go dabble in something else. And then you get some drama. Then your life starts going up and down like this. And then one day you wake up and realize, oh my God, I I don't like this anymore. So then here we go with all our work again so that we can get that even kill life. And it'll last until we get bored again. So just watch that. Just make sure that when you get it like this, that you don't get bored. Now, I do best on Q&A. So what are some of the questions? Oh, wait a minute. We got to get on. Yeah. Uh-oh, I'm coming undone. Okay, I'll just repeat the question. What was your question?
It's really not a question because what it is with all the information that I've had, with all the training, all the teaching, all the classes that I've taken, basically everything said I've heard before,
okay,
or I know about it. My issue is why am I not, and what you just said at the end was really perfect because I have had that life where it's like, then I'll take a dip and I'll be like, what is this dip about? Especially when I know what I know that I know. And I can't understand what it is with me that I can't stay on one course, the course that I know is right. And maybe it's the feel-good thing that you were speaking of earlier. I don't know.
The feel-good thing could be where you need to be. And then the other thing could be is that you just haven't solved the right problem. One of the issues that I begin to have lately is, are we praying the right prayers? If we're praying forgiveness prayers, but what if we don't have anybody to forgive? Okay? If you maybe need to be praying a healing prayer. Are you praying the right prayers? Are you identifying what the need is? This is a way I've discovered that will help you do that. It's called soul journaling. Get a tablet, piece of paper, make an appointment with a journal. It's sort of like if you read Conversations with God by Donald Neil Walsh, it's sort of like that. You ask the question. You write down however you want to frame it. Mine was, why don't I have a national TV show? Wendy Williams does. I want to answer now. That was my question. Okay? You ask it whatever you want to answer, whatever, and it will talk back to you. Okay? It will tell you what it is you need to know, what it is you need to work on, and then that's what you need to work on. My answer actually came very quickly, and the thing is when I started soul journaling, I said, please, yeah, sure it works. Okay? I'm not going to put that much energy in it. I'm going to ask a really hard question. So I came up with it took me 20 minutes to get a hard question. So I came up with a hard question, right? Answer came back like that. It said, isolate the voices in your head. I said, okay. So that's what soul journal. Do that. And what will happen is you will find out what the problem is. Now, all this time, doing my forgiveness work, I've been doing my prosperity affirmations, I've been doing everything but what I needed to be doing, and it told me what I needed to do. So I'm doing that now, and it works wonders. Yes.
I'm going to first this statement. Okay, I know all about positive motivation.
Mm-hmm.
My issue is I'm more of a realist and a positive person. I don't walk around wanting negative, but I'm a realist. I say what I see. I don't say what I feel or what I want it to be or what I think. I say what I see, and I get tired of what I see.
Okay, give me an example of your realism. I love realists.
When I'm broke, I'm broke.
Yeah.
When I say I'm broke,
that's why she looked at me when you made that comment.
I'm broke.
I always tell her,
You're
don't say
making a
that, don't
statement.
speak that.
But it's not in my mind. It's I can do it. I know what motivation.
Okay, but when you're saying you broke, what do you really mean?
I'm broke. Okay.
No.
Money or
Okay, what you're really saying.
I don't know where the next dollar's coming
Okay,
from.
is you don't know where the next dollar's come. That is not I'm broke.
Okay.
That is you don't know where the next dollar is coming from. See, sometimes what we do with our word is we don't tell the truth.
Okay.
We expound. It's like we will say, I don't know where the dollar is coming from, but we still haven't stated the problem. So, do you need money or do you need something else? Often we pray for money when what we need to pray for is what we really need. Do you need to be able to meet the mortgage? Do you need to pay the mortgage? Okay. I need the mortgage paid. Now, does it matter to you that it comes through your hands, or is a gift from somebody else, or if the mortgage company made a mistake and decided that it's already paid for the month? Does it matter?
No, it doesn't really matter, but
Okay.
my thing is, I like to be self-sufficient, so I want to make a plan for my life and see how my finance is going to come in on a regular stream.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really wait for nobody. No one to give
Okay.
it.
Do your knees hurt and your lower back hurt?
No.
Okay. Get ready, because they're going to, so stop. Okay? See, what we have to learn to do is be flexible, too. Okay? The purpose of planning is simply to build consciousness. You have a plan so God can work in your plan. Okay? There are certain things that you need to do to be sure that you're going to have money. And those things are, you have got to tithe. Okay? Okay? You have got to tithe. Now, the scripture says 10%. However, you don't have 10%, start with whatever you have, because it also says start where you are. Start right where you are. And if you can't tithe but $2, tithe $2. Now, but the thing about tithing is you got to tithe in more areas than money. But if it's money you need, you got to give money. Stop giving time if you need money. If you need money, give money. If you need time, give time. If you need joy, give joy. If you need love, you give love. You give what you need. But never miss an opportunity to tithe. The other thing is you have to plan everything you get. My favorite example is we pull up in a parking space that already has time on it, and we park there. And we don't put any money in there. And we think, oh, God has blessed me. No, what you need to think is you just stole from the universe, and you're going to see it again. The other thing that you need to do is there are lots of planning mechanisms, and one of them is a game that I like to play. I played this one actually when I was paying off $65,000 of debt. List all the bills, highest to the lowest. Pay the lowest one. Put as much money as you can on the lowest one. Pay just the minimum on the others. And sometimes you have to call people and say, you know what? This month I got more month than I have money, so let's make a deal. I can give you $25. I can't give you $100 a month for love or money, but I can give you $25, and I promise I'm going to give you $25. And you write them a nice little letter. And when they open the letter, that constitutes receipt of the letter. And you send them the $25 back. And you send them the $25. And if they send it back to you, you keep that. And then the next month you send them the $25. And every time you do them, they get ready to go to court. You go to court with all of your little checks. And all the time they sent the money back, and you say, you know, Your Honor, I did the best I could do. And what will generally happen is Your Honor will say, you know what? The woman's been doing the best she could do. You obviously don't want the money. Debt discharged. Okay? So you have to do what it is you have to do. Okay? Work your plan. The other thing is, do not say you are broke. Just say you are actually working with your financial counselors right now to correct your financial behavior and actions. They are your financial counselors. They came to teach you what you needed to know. It's a good thing. And then start to look at your bills as a sign of prosperity. Someone thought you prosperous enough to allow you that credit. So that means that you are worthy. The other thing is you got to save a little bit too. Okay? You can't save but $2, save $2, but you got to save something. Saving is about the habit. Tithing is about the habit. Where you spend your money is where you put your faith. And if your tithing amount isn't larger than anything else that you do, then you got your faith in something else and not your faith in God. And when you're in the tight, the shoes won't help. I don't care how cute they are. Other questions?
What's the outcome of the breathing exercise you were talking about when you first began your presentation?
It has been proven that whenever we are in having a difficult time, we're under some stress, we tend to not breathe. And when you don't breathe, you're actually causing the inside of your muscles to panic. Okay? And because they think they're going to die, they can't get air. So what your body thinks is, I'm going to die. You're not contributing any other thoughts to that action. So your body thinks you're going to die. Then you breathe, and your body says, oh, well. So what we just did today was we put thoughts inside, so the next time that you're having difficult situations, some fear or some stress or drama, your body is going to think all my needs are met. Other questions? Yes.
I heard you mention something about Hicks. Is that what you're talking about, like Esther Hicks?
Yeah, Esther, right.
Yeah, I've been reading some of their material and had a CD, and they talk about pretending, visualizing, and not looking at how things are, but how you, but how you want them to be, like sometimes it's like, I go back into the, it's difficult because I'm thinking about, it's like pretending and, imaginating and that childhood stuff, but, it's like, man, I got to do it, if I want to see if it works. So,
Okay, I will give you an example. Right, give you an example you can work with. You watch football?
Yeah.
You watch the Bears? You get a game you think they're going to win? Is that what you're hoping for? Who's your favorite team?
What, football?
Yeah, that's in any sport.
I mean, I was Bulls.
Okay, Bulls. Let me take the Bulls. Okay. The Bulls play. When you watch that game, you really think they're going to win, right? You really believe they have a chance.
What would I have, Jordan?
Okay. No. Right. No. But did they win every game? Okay. You were engaging in a sense of fantasy. Every time you watched the game, you thought that they were going to win. That wasn't difficult, was it? As a matter of fact, you kind of enjoyed that. Okay. It's the same thing. Pick a visualization that you enjoy. Not just anyone, but one you enjoy. So you think about what you want, and you find something to think about that actually is kind of fun.
I mean, if you want to visualize where you want to be at, as far as your life is concerned.
Right.
Like if you want to become, financially independent, you want to live in a big, beautiful home or 12-bedroom, 10-bedroom home, with a pool or you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you halfway there. You want a 10 to 12 bedroom home. You wanted to have a pool. You're already there. This man has a pool with 10 to 12 bedrooms. How many kitchens are going to be in that house?
More than likely one.
See, he got a kitchen, one kitchen. You see, it's working now.
Bathrooms,
See?
Yeah.
So the thing is that sometimes when you read their material, listen to their tapes, it sounds difficult, but it's not. It's as simple as saying, when I'm financially independent, man, the house I'm going to have bedrooms, I'm going to have my buddies over, we're going to watch the football game here, or the basketball here, and those Bulls are going to win. It's that simple. If it feels hard, then you're reaching too far. So keep it simple, keep it to where you enjoy it.
All right, so how do we take that and deal with our children, killing our children? School has started back up again, and we have to deal with the fact, youth on youth violence is a major problem in our community. So tell me how we're going to take this visualization and we're going to change that outside of ourselves.
You're going to change yourself first because that's the only thing you can change. Unfortunately, your children are mimicking your behavior. Children actually act out what we are feeling and what we are thinking. You have to remember that this is a collective consciousness. All of us walk around thinking about people we want to kill. We kill a whole lot of people in our minds with our thoughts. We kill a whole lot of people with our words. Now all of a sudden, and we are surprised when the killing actually manifests out there. They're doing what we think about. They're doing what they saw us do. How many times did we just get indignant and set somebody out in front of our children? And then we wonder why they getting indignant and setting folk out themselves. They learned it at home. The other thing that you do is once you change yourself, then you have to teach the child what to do and how to behave. I've worked in schools, and there are far too many children who get up in the morning without the benefit of the parent getting up with them, fixing them any breakfast, and getting them dressed. Too many parents have children who are leaving home and they don't even know what they wore that day. We have to be active in our children's lives, and we have to know who their teachers are. We need to know that they're going to have homework every day, and we need to be there looking at the homework. The days are gone where we can have a drink with our kids or we can like be their friend. We have to start to parent again. And that's the piece that's missing. And your kids you should go to school with your kids periodically. They have teachers meetings. You should make it a stop by the school, check out what your child is doing, and they will stop doing some of that stuff just because they know you're there. And the thing is it doesn't have to be your child. I say start with your child, but if you don't have any children, start with your nieces, your nephews, your cousins. You don't have to reach out to anybody else's children. Start right there in your family. There is a kid in your family that needs your attention. And that is just pain crying out. That is some child crying out that says that I am in pain, I need help. So we need to be there.
One more question. Regarding the law of attraction. You know, I was also reading where it says, you know, you should think about what you want, not what you don't want. And a lot of times, you know, I noticed in my past, I'm like, oh, I don't want to get my car repossessed. Oh, I don't want to have that check bounce. You know what I'm saying? Because I was looking for the money. You know, instead of saying, oh, I want the money to be in the bank before the check cleared. You know, especially if I wrote the check in the bank.
Right.
Could you give me an example of
I call that living in where there is the absence of God as opposed to living where there's the presence of God. We live in the 20% of our lives is not working. We live in that, oh, this isn't working, this isn't working. We need to think about how grateful we are. You know, I am grateful that I have this car. I trust that the universe is going to allow me to keep this car. I am grateful for the things that the car allows me to do. I am grateful that I have this house. I'm grateful for all of the things that it represents. I actually like the people who are in this house with me. I'm grateful for those people. I'm grateful for that relationship. You know what? She may not cook for once or twice, but I actually like her. I think I'm going to keep her. Things like that. That's what you concentrate on. And you don't say things like, I need the money. You already are thankful for the money. You're already grateful for the money. Okay, we have time for one more question, and then that concludes this session. Cool. There are no more questions. I want everyone to become still again. Take a deep breath as we close out this session. Dear Father, Mother God, we come to you with our hearts filled with praise and thanksgiving for all of the blessings that you have bestowed upon us, but more so for the blessings that are on the horizon, eagerly awaiting our awakening. We know, Father, from this point forward, that all of our thoughts will be aligned in what our heart's desires are. That as we come to you, Father, willing to allow you to guide us. And as we say amen and close this session, we just let it be so. Amen, Amin, Ashe, Shalom, and so it is. You all have a great day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
When is your next series going to be?
You know what? This is really strange, because every time I do one of these, I swear I'm never doing one of these again. And that was a conversation I had on the elevator. I'm never doing one of these again. This is like preparing a sermon with Q&A, right? And then you say when the next session is. We are going to schedule a section for October, November, and December. Be sure you give us your email address so that we can let you know where we're going to be. And then all of you can join us. And we're going to talk about where do you go from here.
Will you have videos of your lessons?
Yes, I will have videos of our lessons. We are, this session, we had the anger workshop where we did more workshop than talking. So I actually challenged my videographer, so he's trying to figure out how to put it all together. But we will have DVDs available.
What about the first session?
We will have DVD of the first session, too. Yeah, we actually have that DVD. We just got to put an opening and a close and all of that stuff. Because, you know, it's still got to be cute and glitzy and glamorous, you know. So we're still working. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So you know what? We're talking about visualization. Wouldn't you all rather see me on Fox than Wendy Williams? Okay, come on now. Come on, come on. I tell you, I'm nothing against Wendy Williams. I think she's a cool sister, but she has my television slot. You know? That's right.
Well, you see, we close 75th.
That's right. We close 75th Street for me. That's a start. That's a start. Thank you all. This has been about. Keep you posted.
All right. Thank you. Let's give her another hand, Stephanie Wilson-Coleman. Now, if you think this series was okay, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
And I like it because it really helped me a lot because she tried these things
Things on me first. You know, say, oh yeah, that worked. Let's stick him. I think I'll keep him. You know, but a lot of the stuff that she does is straight from the heart. The DVDs will be available, and if I don't have your email address, please make sure I have your address. The DVDs are we decided on $15 for those, or $10 to $15 for those. Yes. No, it's $10. $10 for the DVDs, and I'll make sure I have your email address so I can send you one, or either you have my email address so that we can get one. And it's real simple. It's inspire@champagneconnection.com, and just put down in there the empowerment series in the subject, and that way I'll be able to send you one back and things of that nature. Make sure to get your address in there, can mail it to you. Boom, boom, boom. And if you know, like if you don't have a check and stuff, you want to pay with cash, that's cool too. But if we do all of that. But also, coming up for the next series is where we are going to go from here. We're looking for a lot more stuff like how to really make some serious changes in crossing over her bridge. And now, if anyone would like to say how this series has impacted them from day one, I mean, like who's been here with us since day one? Okay. That'd be great. I'll get a couple of testimonies on the side real quick, and we can proceed to the back and make sure I got your information.
He's being kind.
We need lots of testimony. If we're going to get a spot at
Everybody.
Wendy Williams and close down Michigan Avenue, we need everybody.
Every- Yes.
There's one thing that I didn't do at the beginning, which I usually always do, and I want to apologize to my great host for not having done that. But Stephanie Hart, who owns Brown Sugar Bakery.
Definitely.
Stephanie agreed to allow us to have the series here, and then she's been a guest on my radio show and television show a couple times. And she doesn't know it, but we just did entrepreneurial development on WVON Sunday night. We asked questions you should have been there asking, so we got answers for you. See, because my goal is to make this like the favorite bakery. Okay,
Definitely.
She has great stuff over there, so I want to thank her.
Yes.
So be sure you visit her. And we are on WVON every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. That's 1690 a.m. Be sure you tune in. And then our next television show, which are live shows, is October the 6th, which is a Tuesday, from 9 to 10 at 9 p.m. So be sure you call in and do that.
And if you're not joining us in the morning for the mastermind, you're missing out.
Channel 19.
Channel 19.
And we do a mastermind prayer every morning at 7 o'clock, no matter where I am or
Definitely.
they are. And you're welcome to join the mastermind call too.
Yes.
Okay, we're ready.
Stephanie, I would like to share with you what an impact your empowerment series has had on my life. I wasn't able to attend the first session, but when I saw your presentation in Meta magazine,
Okay.
I said, I've got to find out what this is all about. So I have attended the last two sessions, and each one of them has been a powerhouse for my life. I mean, they have really changed me. And your book is, anybody listening, is a powerhouse. I recommend it to everyone who is a searching soul.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad it was able to help you.
Yes, it was.
Thank you,
It
God,
was.
for talking through me into that
Yes,
book.
yes. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for your, I'm looking forward to the next session.
Okay, I'll keep you posted.
Okay, thank you.
Stephanie, I just wanted to share with you, I have really appreciated, I made the first session, and I made the session today. And like I had said earlier, you bring up a lot of things that I've already been working on. And I don't know, it's just something about your spirit that, that really is very helpful for me. It still gives me the drive to do the things that I need to do. I know what I should do, and I think that you have really been motivating me to go forward in the things that I need to do.
Thank
I just
you.
want you to know I appreciate you. You've done a lot of work with our church. You'll be there
Yes,
soon,
I'll
and
be
I'm
there
going to be there
soon.
too.
Cool.
So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
You're welcome. I do want you to try Soul Journal. The results will amaze you.
Okay.
Okay, and you'll get the answers right away.
All right.
Okay?
And thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Wonderful. Nice to meet you.
Okay,
But we
cool.
want to bigger and better things.
Yeah, it's wonderful to meet you. She shares some things about you, and it's wonderful to hear.
Thank you very
She
much.
shares some of your story, and there's a world to share how you've impacted her life, so that's a wonderful thing.
Thank you very much. I love this girl to death. I love you too. So, thank you for coming out. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Edgar made it a point to say, well, what are you doing on?
That's right. She'll nail you down. That's right. I love that.
Edgar has always been, since way back, we won't mention years.
Cool.
But she's always been a positive individual, a very empowering person.
Thank you. I tried.
So, I listen.
All right. Thank you. Hopefully you'll join us for the next session too.
I'm
The
sure
next
she'll let me
series.
know.
She will.
Okay,
All right.
you take care.
Bye-bye.
Show you how God works. I was kind of like in the dumps or something.
Okay.
Earlier, and he brought me, I came here with him, and it was just what I needed.
Okay. That's right. And that's that action thing that I was talking about. See, God gave you that little bit of soft suggestion to go here, and you followed, and you got what you needed.
Definitely. Thank
All
you so
right.
much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
A bird sang this song to me. There was a message in its melody. Sweetest lyrics that I ever heard. There's a message in the songs of birds. Tomorrow is another day. Living is the only way. Tomorrow's gonna ever come. Listen to the words of the song. Everything gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be. Now the trees sang a song to me. He said the birds sang it to the breeze. Just in case I was feeling down and didn't really want to be around. He said the breeze sometimes come with rain,